evening. Okay, so um, let's see. I'm trying to see what orientation works best. I think that one had me sideways. So today I am going to be showing you how to make a zippered scrunchie. I have the satin piece I have here. It's black. I've already cut it. It is for 32. So it's 5.5, 6 by 32. I have my elastic, which is about 1/4 of an inch elastic, wide width elastic. And I have, let's see, stopper to stopper, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 5-inch zipper. I instead of zipper by the yard, I decided to do this. Use one that is just already cut. So what I'm going to do first is just kind of sew the zipper together because I don't want it to act funny when I eventually, sew with this. So I'm going to do that first, and then we're going to sew this. Now it's just like any other scrunchie. The only difference is you will be putting the zipper on there as you sew. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to take you to my sewing machine, and then I'm going to flip the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn on the lights. I am starting to, or trying to do better lighting with my videos. So let's flip that and do this. Okay. So like I said, the first thing I want to do is sew my zipper together. So this is my 5-inch zipper. I don't need a zipper foot for this. I am just going to put this all together so that it doesn't come apart. As I sew, and it's not required. This is just a preference. And it's based on my experience that when I don't put this together, it kind of does a wonky thing. And I end up having to correct. So it's just basically putting this together because it was separated. And I did a few crisscross stitches. So I've done this on this side. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll go ahead and start the process for doing the scrunchie. So make sure that when you put your needle down, you are not putting it down in such a way that it interferes with your with the end pieces, the metal pieces that are already on there. So I can already see it's caught on something, so I'm going to take it out. I don't want to create a bigger problem. And I'm going to go ahead and start all over again. Well, obviously today is not the day. It's getting caught on the metal piece. So let me take these off. Make sure my needle is fully threaded. And I will start all over again. Okay, there we go. So like I said, the only reason I'm doing this, it's actually not going to be showing through. The only reason I'm doing this is because I want to keep both sides together. If you started from the beginning, you saw that it was coming apart slightly. So, and this, I want it to stay together since it's going to be sewn onto my, onto the scrunchie. So now this is done. I'm going to set it aside. And then now we're going to start the scrunchie making part. And this is basically the scrunchie here. Oh, the fabric, again, it is 32 inches by 5.5. And I'm going to sew this widthwise together, both sides. Oopsie. This is actually part of a bigger order that came through on my website, and I sewwithjoy.com. I'm sorry, it came through on printedbonnet.com. my other website, not the one for sewing, but the printed bonnet site. And I will now go ahead. So now this is together. I just realized you didn't see me sewing this, but this is what it looks like together. And so the right side is on the inside. And now we're going to do what's called a burrito wrap. And this some people find this tricky. I think, you know, it's easy for me, but again, I say that because I've been doing this for a while. So you're going to wrap this inside. Again, remember the right side is on the inside, and then you're going to take this and put it together. Now, I typically work with clips, or pins rather, but let's see if a clip will do the job just as good. So let's do that. I will clip the sides, and it'll make more sense shortly. So making sure you're not getting the inside burrito. We're just going to clip the sides because I want to append the zipper. And I want to make sure I have more than enough to do so. So now I have my zipper. Now remember, the zipper is going to be on the inside, right? So what you're going to do is, do I have enough room? Nope. So I'm going to move this a little bit to the side. Take this, put it on one side, and I will use pins because for me it's just easier. But if clips work better for you, go ahead and use the clips. Part of this is actually knowing how you want it to sit. Now, this is the other part. You want to make sure that it sits on this side here. Oh, that's not straight. Let me know if you have any questions as I do this. So this is what it's going to look like. And then now I'm just going to start sewing around and pulling it out. But before I do that, I'm going to first make sure I get this fully done. Making sure that the inside, remember the inside burrito we created, it's not in the way. So I'm going to take that out so that I can control it a little bit better. You can use, if you want, a zipper foot, not required, but always nice to have. And like I said, I will be sewing over this particular area here because I want just the zipper. So this is kind of where, you know, people like to have the zipper foot because it can get caught in the way. All right, so one side is done, and we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. All we're doing right now is just adding the zipper, and then we will sew this just the same way you would sew a regular scrunchie. And if you notice, the reason I did this, I started with putting everything together was because if I hadn't done that, as I was working on this, the parts would probably start coming. It'll probably start coming apart. So, and I didn't want that. Oopsie. There we go. So the biggest thing you want to do is first get the zipper in. And once that's done, most of the work is already done. The zippers are there. And hello, hi. Sorry, I don't see your name because I'm on the other side. But hello. So now the zipper's in, and we're going to start the process of putting everything together. Remember, you want to put the zipper on the outside. So I am actually going to start sewing. I'm going to pull this up a little bit so that it doesn't show once I put my my scrunchie together. So I'm going to start this here. Uh-oh. I knew what I just did. It's exactly what I told you not to do. I hit the metal. So this metal here, you can see it created 2 holes. So let me redo this. And I believe I do need a new needle. So I'm going to go ahead and change my needle. Give me a second. So if this is your first time joining me, you know I'm called the Imperfect Sewist. Why? Because there's always an issue that comes up while sewing. But it was actually almost time for me to change the needle anyway. So if you see it's slightly bent and slightly dull, here's a pro tip. Get a medicine container and discard your needles in there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get a new needle and put it in there. Once you sew a lot, it's changing your needles very easy. I know I say that, but and I do have a video of how to do that. I primarily work, the needle I use most days is a 75 by 11. You can get a whole pack of these on Amazon for next to nothing. The rule of thumb is if the thicker your fabric, the higher the needle. So if you are doing a thicker piece of fabric, you want to go with either 80 by 12, 90 by 14. If you're doing a thinner piece of fabric, which I'm doing in this case, and most things I do are thinner pieces of fabrics, it is 75 by 11. But again, look up your projects if you're not sure. And if you go on the Brothers site, it actually does have it has a little chart that tells you what to use and when to use it. And there you go. Don't ever be afraid of changing out your needle. It's very easy and it's necessary to keep your machine ongoing. So what happened was I was hitting up against the metal on the inside. Oopsie. On the inside, this piece of metal here. So let me move this a little bit so it's not so much in the way. So I just need to make sure that I am not doing that. And I am going to start all over again and make sure I don't get to that point. So. Okay. And now the burrito starts to come. This is how you just pull the inside. Again, remember, you're keeping it out of the way. Don't worry about the pieces that are coming off. For that, you're going to use what do they call those? Pink and shears to make it pretty. And I think the hardest thing people have when trying to make a scrunchie is just the fact that they're not sure how to pull this out. But if you use the method I showed you, where basically you create your burrito on the inside, fold it, and then fold it over again, it's honestly the easiest way to do this. You want to make sure that you're catching both sides so you don't have any holes inside of your scrunchie. Hello, hello, for those just joining. I'm making a zippered scrunchie. The way you start this is first by putting the zipper on there. And actually, you first fold your burrito pieces, burrito on the inside, and then put the zipper, and then you just keep sewing. So you're pulling the inside, and we're almost back where we started because I can now see the zipper on this side. And I will do the same thing I did when I first started as far as sewing up. So the don't get scared of these pieces. The satin comes apart. It's a piece of fabric that comes off or sheds. I don't know. So don't let that bother you so much. Now, because we're getting to this side, I want to remember that I don't want the way I want the zipper. I'm going to open this up a little bit. That's the first thing, so that I can fully turn this inside out. And then I'm also going to take these pieces that I started with and move it out of the way, because if you leave it, it'll show on the other side. So I'm going to move it out of the way, keep my burrito folded, and I'm going to come in and sew it up this way. Okay, so it'll make more sense when we get closer. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. We're getting there, and I'm going to make sure I take these pieces here, take it out of the way. I know where the metal is. I don't want to hit the metal again since I just had to change my needle. Test things out a little bit. And this is one that, you try it for a few times, you'll eventually get a handle of it. So don't feel discouraged if it doesn't work out the exact way you want it the first go around. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take that, move it a little bit. Now that I know I've cleared my metal piece, and believe it or not, that's done. You'll see what it looks like shortly. So I'm going to take all the strays coming off here. And just take them apart, using my shears to take them, my snips rather. So when you're sewing with this, you want to make sure you give a good allowance because you don't want this to unravel over time. That's important as well. Okay, so now remember that opening? I have that, and I'm going to use that to pull everything inside out. It's a little small, so let me open it up a little bit more. And pull everything inside out, and you have your zipper piece all together. You can see, so the zipper is on the inside. Now to the final piece, which is just basically adding the elastic. Now there are many ways to do a zippered scrunchie. I've just found that this is the easiest way, and it's worked out easier for me. So first thing is put the zipper on there the way I showed you after your burrito is there, and then just work it through. I will go ahead and look for any pieces that are hanging out. Get that a little closer to myself and get rid of them, making sure I don't accidentally pull anything that will cause it to come apart. And you basically have your tube now. So I'll move that a little. Actually, my sewing piece is done. Now I'm going to use my buttkin to thread my elastic. And that's basically it. So I have a 9-inch long elastic. Hold it on one side, because obviously if you let it go, then it comes apart. And just wait till it comes on the other side. Careful not to lose your elastic that you were holding. And this is it. It comes right back out. If this doesn't make sense or you want to take a class directly with me, please feel free to reach out. You can reach me here on YouTube, or you can send an email to me. I believe all the information is on my YouTube channel. I sewwithjoy.com. I teach virtual classes. So I'm going to tie this like so, and I do also sew it down so that if for some reason it comes apart, it's not going to fully come apart. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this. And this part doesn't have to be pretty because you're just making sure that it doesn't come off when you put the scrunchie in. And I usually will try to move that so that it's not the first thing on the scrunchie piece. And there you have it, a zippered scrunchie. These are great if you're running errands and you don't want to have to take your full wallet with you. If you're going to the gym and you want to have it, I don't think this size will hold a card, but you can obviously adjust it to hold a card if you need to, making it wider. It will hold cash and keys and, you know, a thumb drive or whatever. It wouldn't hold your cell phone, but it'll hold quite a bit. So yeah, and you can just put it around your hand if you need to, or you can put it around your hair. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, my name is Joy. Thanks for joining me. This is the easiest way I know how to make a zippered scrunchie. Works great, looks great. And if you want to pick one up and don't necessarily want to have to make yours, you can do so on my website at printedbonnet.com. I also teach how to sew a hair bonnet, shower cap, as well as other little things for sewing beginners. So be sure to hit like, share, and follow if you're not already doing so. Have a wonderful day. Bye.